Hey there, welcome. If you've ever felt totally lost when it comes to English language teaching research, well, you are in exactly the right place. Think of this as your personal, super clear guide to locking down the core concepts you absolutely need, especially when it comes to nailing those big 10-mark exam questions. All right, let's just jump right in. We've taken this huge, complex topic and broken it down into four really logical stages. It's kind of like we're following a researcher's journey from that first little spark of an idea all the way to sharing their amazing findings with the world. So, first things first, the plan. Every great research project, just like a skyscraper, has to start with a rock-solid blueprint. And for us as teachers, one of the most powerful blueprints we have is something called action research. And this little cycle here, it illustrates the whole process perfectly. See, action research isn't some one-and-done thing. It's this living, breathing cycle of improvement that happens right there in your classroom. You spot a problem, right? Like maybe students just aren't participating. You plan an action, a new activity. You try it, you watch what happens, and then you reflect. And then you do it all over again, getting a little better each time. Okay, so you've got your plan. Now you have to write your methodology section. The absolute best way to think about this is like it's a recipe for your research. I mean, it needs to be so detailed, so crystal clear that another teacher could come along, follow your exact steps, and get pretty much the same results. This section, it's the foundation of your entire study's credibility. All right, let's keep building on this. So you've done the work, you've collected all this stuff, but right now it's just raw information. What does it all actually mean? Well, that's where data analysis comes in. And there are really two main paths you can walk down to find the story hidden in all those numbers and words. You can think of it like this. On one hand, you've got quantitative analysis. This gives you the cold, hard numbers, the test scores, the percentages. It answers what happened. But on the other hand, you've got qualitative analysis, and that gives you the human story behind the numbers. It digs into the why through things like interviews and observations. So, in the quantitative world, you're using these really specific statistical tools. You might calculate the mean, the average score, to see how a group performed. Or maybe you'll use something like a t-test to see if a new teaching method actually made a difference compared to the old one. It's all about finding patterns in the numbers. Now, on the qualitative side, you get to be more of a detective. You're sifting through what students said in interviews, you're coding it by labeling the main ideas. Then you start grouping those ideas into bigger themes to spot patterns. And, this is the best part, you use direct quotes from the students themselves to let their voices tell the story. Okay, now this is absolutely crucial, and I mean really crucial for your exams. Analysis and interpretation are not the same thing. Analysis is just presenting the facts. The test scores went up by 15%. That's analysis. Interpretation is telling us the story behind the facts. This 15% jump probably happened because. See the difference? One is the what, the other is the so what. So you've analyzed your data, you've figured out what it all means, now what? How do you share your story with everyone else? Well, you can't just throw it all on a page. Academic writing follows a very specific, very logical structure that everyone in the field knows and expects. A research paper follows this exact path every single time. Each part builds on the last one, leading the reader on a journey from the problem to your solution. And here's the golden rule. Don't mix them up. The results section is for results only, no opinions. The discussion is for opinions, no new data. Each section has one job, and one job only. And while a research paper is like a focused sprint, a dissertation, well, that's a full-on marathon. It's a much, much deeper dive into a topic with detailed chapters that go on for ages. A dissertation is a major original contribution to the field, and it really represents years of someone's hard work. All right, finally, let's talk about the rules of the road. This stuff is what gives your research integrity. Without proper documentation and citation, even the best study can fall apart. This is the backbone of credible academic work. Remember that recipe we talked about earlier? Good documentation is how you prove to everyone that you actually followed it. It's about being transparent, it's about being ethical, it's about showing that your amazing conclusions are built on a foundation of solid, honest work. So when you're writing and you're using APA style, you've got two main ways to give credit. You can use a narrative citation, where the author's name is part of your sentence, like Krashen argued, or you can use a parenthetical one, where you make your point first and then just pop the source in parentheses at the end. It all just depends on what you want to emphasize, the person or the idea. Now, pay close attention here because this is a super common mistake people make on exams. The little phrase, et al., which just means and others, is only used when a source has 3 or more authors. If it has 2, you always name both of them. Get this one little detail right, and you're already ahead of the curve. And at the very end of it all, your reference list has to be absolutely perfect. The devil is in the details here. Notice how book titles are italicized, and in sentence case, only the first word is capitalized, but journal titles are also italicized, but in title case, where all the main words get a capital letter. Every single comma, every period, every space, it all matters. So there you have it, a complete roadmap for your entire ELT research journey. We've gone from the blueprint to the analysis to the final story and the rules. The only question left is, now that you have these tools, what's the first problem in your own classroom that you're ready to solve?